Hey everybody, welcome to another quick save review with me, RC. Today we're taking a look at Pepper Grinder, which Pepper Grinder is a very interesting 2D platformer with a cool mechanic. We're going to jump into our adventure here. Before we go into this, let you know, playing this on Steam on PC took me about, as you can see, 3 hours to finish this game. It's pretty short, but the price tag reflects that. It's 15 bucks. I actually got this on sale. I think I paid like $5 at a recent sale on Steam for it. So definitely worth the money, I would say. But I think your mileage will vary in this game depending on what you're looking to get out of it. You know, I guess in some ways how frustrating of an experience you're looking for. Not that this game is super frustrating, but it has its moments, right? We're going to jump right in and play a casual play here. When you finish a level, you also get the option to do a time attack of it if you like. See, this one's got water. But basically, yeah, you play as this girl. I'm assuming her name is Pepper. And she has a grinder, which we could use on certain pieces of rock. Like this. Woo! And this mechanic is it's a ton of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's great being able to kind of like control your character, have her just collect all the gems, jump from rock to rock. It feels really good. This is just super fun to do. Sometimes you go in these little circles, you get more gems. One of the other things you're trying to collect are large coins. That's a checkpoint right there. You'll see in the top right there are large coins that you could find. I actually just noticed an area that I could break open. Where's that? Okay, check this out. So you can see I'm actually missing a couple of coins from a previous play of this level. So we're going to try to get down. If you look at the bottom right, you can see that there is some area there. Look, we broke through that rock. Secret coin. We found one of our missing coins there, which was great. The coins don't do much. You also find these like gems in the stone here, which are always fun. Here's some enemies we'll take out. Little weird narwhal goblin things. But the coins don't really do a whole lot, to be honest. You could go to the store, you could buy certain things. You could buy stickers, which don't really do anything. I'll show what that's all about after this level here. You could also buy extra health if you need it, which for some boss battles I did need it, especially the final boss battle, because there was some challenges there with that one. Final boss battle was very challenging. I would say the boss battle... Ooh, jeez. The boss battles in general were pretty challenging because they feel a lot different from the normal game, if that makes sense. We'll keep going here. One of the other things that kind of I'm not the biggest fan of besides the boss battles is how you get hit in this game. Sometimes when you get hit in this game, it doesn't immediately register very well. Like the feedback that it tells you that you got hit is not very, I don't know. For me, it just doesn't register. It's like you see you got hit, you lose a little health maybe, but you gotta really look, you know? I noticed that especially, it's part of the reason why the boss battles are kind of not as fun as they should be because of that. Like, there were times where a boss would hit me, and I'm like, did I just get hit there? And it was like, oh yeah, I did get hit. And then it was like, oh, I got hit again. Because the window in which you're, you know, this is kind of like video gaming 101, right? The times that you get hit, you know, you get a little bit of an invincibility time. And I guess the way I would put it is sort of that window of invincibility is not communicated very well to the player. Like, you saw I got hit by those roots right there, right? And it just was not very, like, it's just not noticeable, right? And I think part of it is just because the sprites are smaller. And just the overall feedback effect is just not noticeable because of that. Like, Pepper's sprite is very small here. When she gets hit, it's hard to even notice. There's like a slight knockback. She fades in and out a little bit, you know, but overall, you don't really notice it because you're sort of paying attention to what you're doing. And the reason why that's such a large problem, you're probably watching this level and you're thinking, oh wow, this is super casual RC. Like, this is like why? Who even cares? The problem is that the levels get a bit more frantic as you go. Believe it or not, I mean, we're in the second level of the game here. This is easy peasy. There's nothing to this, right? But it does get more frantic and more crazy as you go. We'll show that here in just a second. So that was just a sample. We found one of the extra coins, which is awesome. But that was just a sample of the gameplay here. Second level of the game. Easy. Easy, easy. We're going to go into the Curiosity Shop. I'm going to show you what you could use the coins for. So typically, this mole here will sell sticker pages. You could spend... This isn't even for coins. This is for the little gems that you pick up. But if you grab this, so you can get extra health, which, like I said, is very helpful during some of the boss battles here. You could also use those same gems to buy stickers, like so. Some of the stickers are only unlockable by doing time attacks. You have to get gold time attacks. But with the gem, the coin that we just picked up, we can actually buy, like, new hairstyles or new hoods. So, like, we can buy this hood, and boom, she has it. Which you can change into at any point. I say that, and then I go to the options, and I don't see an option for it. Where do we go for that? Let's head out. Maybe you can only do it here. Nope, we don't want to exit to main menu. There we go. Okay. So here you could pick her, what she's going to wear. You could change her hair if you want. Make her blonde, green hair, whatever. So if you're into, customizing the main sprite, you could do that with the coins. The other thing you could buy with the coins are the sticker sheets, like these. So you could pick, like, an area, like this guy, the giant here, and at any point you could hit the right trigger, pick a sticker, and you could put it on the scene. Why? I don't know. There's nothing to it. There is an achievement to unlock all the sticker sheets that you can put stickers on. There's achievements to unlock all the stickers, but the stickers don't really do anything. As far as I can tell, there's also no reason to collect all the coins, because the coins don't really do anything besides unlock sticker stuff. So for me, there's no replay value in this game, because there's no reason to collect the coins, because there's no reason, there's nothing that gets implemented into the gameplay itself that in turn makes me want to unlock everything. It's just I guess a sense of pride if you want to go for that. For me personally, there is a character in the game that you meet with a bit later. You actually fight her later, named Mint. And it's kind of like a Mega Man, Proto Man situation where she is kind of like an enemy nemesis type thing. I'll show you her in this one in just a moment. But I was like, man, maybe collect all the coins, you get to play as her. Wouldn't that be cool? I thought so. All right, we're going to jump into this level. This level is one of the snowy levels, as you can already tell. You go through the snow. But look at that. Snowmobiles. Why is that important? Because this is one of the tools you get in the game that you can do jumps with. You can do fun stuff with. So throughout the game, there are a bunch of tools that you can use your drill with. There's a gun, which actually is kind of interesting. You get the snowmobile, drive through enemies, take them out. There we go. We're all donezo. Oh, and this thing is like the thing I hate the most in this game. These hooks. It took me a while to kind of master how these hooks work. Oh, and get the angle of my trajectory just right. Like, let's say I almost missed it there. Those hook things, I don't know why, but they just didn't gel with me in this game. It's one of the other negatives with this game. This game overall, I had a lot of fun with, but it ends up feeling like a very average experience to me because there are things in it that don't fit the gameplay. Let's say like the gameplay mechanics built within it. So the main gameplay mechanic obviously is the drill, right? We drill through the area here. We can use a boost to drill up higher or drill faster. And that makes sense. But then they're like, oh, let's put a gun in, right? And for a moment, you're like, oh, this is fun. Like the sample gun level, you're like, this is cool. But, see, like that. I thought I had it, and I did not. So you really got to be careful with the trajectory of those hooks. They can be very annoying. The reason why is because sometimes you're going to have like 5 of those hooks in a row. And then you're going to end up falling, 2 or 3 times, losing a bunch of your health. And your state of health is usually, you start with 4. So if you start with 4, and you're losing 2 of your health at that time, there was a coin I already got previously, then you're going to be at half health, and then if you got to fight enemies after, it just becomes a lot, And sometimes it doesn't always feel fair, because it's like, man, I'm just not nailing these platform sections because of this hook thing. See, that was a little bit more fair, because there's only one, and it's like really close to the drill area here. But anyway, all that to say is it took me a while to really get the feelers for how those hooks work, how the trajectory feels. But the game has a lot of little things like that where abilities feel tacked on. Things you could do feel tacked on. The snowmobile is fun, but there's only a few levels that, I think there's like 2 levels that use it. So it's definitely doing that whole thing where, it's a short game. I'll see right there. I thought I hit X, but I didn't. Oh, I guess it put me to the next area. Interesting. But anyway, it just doesn't feel super intuitive, at least to me. The hooks, that is. The snowmobile feels intuitive to use, but you just don't get to really enjoy it much. It's just they should have like a whole level that's like a race, So that leads me to sort of like my overall feeling with this game is that it's good, but it's not completely tweaked to where it needs to be, and I feel like they left a lot of meat on the bone as to like what they could have done with not only the character, not only the game, but also just the overall feel of it and where it could have gone with the abilities, and just the potential is there. It's very high, but it feels like they just didn't really, capitalize on what they could have done. And I really hope that they get a chance to come back to this and sort of, make a sequel that like builds upon all of that stuff. I think that would be amazing, because this game truly feels like it's like 70% of where it needs to be. It needs at least one more world of levels. It needs the abilities to feel a little bit more cohesive. Just the story itself, like with Mint, the other grinder girl that's in this, if that's what you want to call it, grinder girl. Oh man, that sounds like a whole other thing. But yeah, like it's just like all the pieces get to about 70-80% there, but they don't quite reach what they need to reach. What does reach though is obviously the aesthetic, the look, the music is fun. All that stuff works. And I think that's what's mainly selling this game is the look and the music. It's great. But all the other pieces really need to show up just a little bit more. They need to be, they're wearing the suit without a tie. If they had the tie, they'd be there. We're going to jump into this level here real quick because I believe this one has the gun in it. And I kind of want to show off some of the gun stuff. I think this also had one of the more annoying parts in the game, too. Another hook thing. See, right there, I got hit for no reason, which was pretty annoying. Like, that, I couldn't have predicted, like, going over to that area and there was going to be a bullet there waiting for me from that guy's shot, right? Little things like that. Very, very annoying. Okay, yeah, so this is one of the hook areas that I just hated. It took me... oh, see, because the hook comes at you so quick there at the bottom. You gotta be quick. This was one of the areas, like, I know that this is towards the end of the game. This is, like, one of the final levels before you get to the final boss. But I just want to demonstrate, like, where things get to, right? And I know this isn't completely fair because I'm trying to rush so I can show you guys examples, that kind of thing. But still, just a portion of the game that I was not very happy with and kind of, like, got very irritated with. This is the beginning of this level, and I think I redid this part probably like 10 times to the point where I was just like, what am I doing wrong? And I thought I had a handle. I still see it. Look, I still don't have a handle on these hooks. The problem is, through the whole game, you're kind of taught to hold the trigger to use your pepper grinder thing the whole time, right? But during these sections, you have to, like, hold back. So, like, when you hit here, you hit X... oh, jeez. You hit X once to hold on. Then you have to time hitting the drill to get through the rock next. Okay, we made it. And then we don't even have a checkpoint here. So now I got one thing of health left, and I got to do this platforming challenge here. So you will be challenged in this game. No doubt about that. You know, we're not debating that. But sometimes I just feel like the controls and the mechanics are just not intuitive enough. They're not where they need to be, you know? Okay, well, looks like we're not going to find the gun, but we'll at least get to check out this guy here. You get this big lug of a dude that can just, like, break through stuff, which is super fun. Very, very fun. But again, this is another mechanic that's few and far between in this game. I think you only get to use this guy like twice in the game. So during this level and then during a previous level, and that's really it. And he controls very stiffly. You can jump here and then... there we go. But what's nice about this guy is it's sort of like a, you know, hey, go ahead and just blow off some steam. That last part was a pain in the butt, so go ahead. You're invincible now. Go take everyone out, right? That's kind of what it is. Alright, so we jump off this guy. Oh, then you're gonna get like little platformer situation. See that? So this end level is really using up all of the tricks that the game had to offer previously. Oh, see, the enemy got me right off the bat. Anyways, you guys get the point. We're going to exit here, and we are going to jump back. I want to just show you an example of one of the boss battles. This is not a super hard boss battle, but it just shows you that there is a bit of a learning curve to all of it. So that is Mint. I only know that because it was the name of the achievement. Something about Mint, defeating Mint. I think it was also in the boss battle, the boss level name. So there's that. Right now, I am just cruising to get to the boss battle real quick. They kind of got this, like, precursor... Oop, that I did not mean to do. Sort of a precursor level before you get to the boss. She's gonna start throwing her little demon dudes at us. So yeah, consensus here. Gorgeous game, fun music, fun mechanics for the most part. Could just use a little bit more polish. And hopefully that will come with the sequel. There we go. Now we're getting there. I'd like to know more about these little creatures, why we're fighting them, who they are, who Mint actually is. I'd like to be able to play as Mint. That she was the one that I was like, you know, if you collect all of the coins, they should give you the option to play as her, like play a new game plus with her, or, you know, play another game where she has to collect her own type of coins or something like that. All right, so in this boss battle, yeah, you're basically just trying to hit her with your drill at the right opportune moments. You can see she's got all these different abilities. Conveniently, there's snow available here, so you got to avoid all of her movements. So we'll just give you a sample boss battle here before we call it. Some of these bosses, though, like trying to figure out the movements, the right times to strike and everything, that's what made the final boss really difficult. Is just learning all the movements. He could hit you in certain ways that you wouldn't expect, and just like trying to figure that out, keep that in mind, can be really difficult. But yeah, I think that's a great look at this game, guys, for a 3-hour game. You know, spending 20 minutes talking about it, I think that's more than enough. But again, not a bad game. Just a game that needed a little bit more TLC, and if you get this on sale, like I did, like I said, I think I got it for like $5 or $6. Definitely worth your time and worth the money, for sure. I had a good time with it, but when you get towards the end, you're definitely going to run into some frustrating times with the hooks. We didn't really get to showcase the gun here, but the gun is something else that like feels a little shoehorned into the mechanics of the game in certain areas when it gets really, really packed and it starts to feel like a Contra game as opposed to a 2D platformer where you have like a drill that, you know, from what you saw here with the mechanics, right? It feels very different. But that is Pepper Grinder. Not a bad game whatsoever, but I'm sort of like hot cold on it, where the highs are really high and the lows are kind of meh, you know. But anyway, that's Pepper Grinder. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next one.